the
This
subject
conference
for
will now be recorded.
Hello.
Sir,
Pandu.
screen share
Hello.
ಮಾಡಿ
Hello.
Sir, screen share ಮಾಡಿರಿ.
ಯಾವುದು?
Screen ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿರಿ ಸರ್.
ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಅದಲ್ಲ ಯಾಕೆ?
ಅಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಿ ಸರ್. ಹಲೋ.
ಹಾ, ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾ?
ಹಾ ಹೌದು ಸರ್. ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ.
ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆಡಿಯೋನೋ ವಿಡಿಯೋನೋ ಇದು?
ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಸರ್, ಆಡಿಯೋ ಓಕೆ ಇದೆ, ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಬೇಕು ಸರ್.
ಓ, ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ನೋಡ್ರಿ.
ಅದು ನೀವು ಶೇರ್ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಿ ಸರ್.
ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ?
ಹುಲ್ಲೂರ್ ಸರ್. ಸರ್ ಇದು ಅಲೋ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೇಲೆ. ಬರಾಕತ್ರಿ. ಅಲೋ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ. ಓಕೆ ಸರ್, ಓಕೆ ಸರ್.
ಹಾ, ಅಲೋ ಮಾಡ್ಲಾ? ಓಕೆ, ಮಾಡ್ದೆ.
ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಹೋಗ್ರಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಮ್ಯಾಲ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಹೋಗ್ರಿ.
ಹಲೋ,
ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಹೋಗ್ರಿ.
ಯಾರು? ಅಲ್ಲ, ಮ್ಯಾಲ ಅಲೋ ಮಾಡಿ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್.
ಹಾ, ಈಗ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಹೋಗ್ರಿ. ಈಗ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಹೋಗ್ರಿ. ಈಗ
ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಹೋಗಿಲ್ಲ? ಆಲ್ ರೈಟ್.
ಈಗ ನಿಮ್ದು PPT ಎಲ್ಲದರಿ?
ನನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ PPT ಕಳ್ಸೆ ನಾನು ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ.
ಯಾರಿಗೆ?
ನಿನ್ನೆ ಕಳ್ಸೇನೆ. ಒಬ್ರು ಗ್ರೂಪ್ಗೆ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಲ್ಲ.
ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ. ಹಂಗಂದ್ರೆ ಈಗ ನೀವು ಓರಲಿ ಅಷ್ಟ ತಗೋತೀರಲ್ಲ?
ಹಾ, ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಬರ್ದಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಬೇಡ ಅಂದ್ರು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಅದು ಅರೇಂಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಲ್ಲ.
ಸರಿ ಸರಿ, ಹಂಗಂದ್ರೆ ಶೇರಿಂಗ್ ಬಂದ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡ್ರಿ. ಹಂಗ ಹೇಳ್ರಿ ಸರ್, ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಹೇಳ್ರಿ, ನಡೀತದೆ, ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ಗೋ ಅಹೆಡ್.
ಶೇರಿಂಗ್ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಯಾಕೆ?
ಬ್ಯಾಡ್ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಡ್ರಿ ಸರ್, ನಡೀತದೆ. ನೀವು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಶುರು ಮಾಡ್ರಿ. ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಶುರು ಮಾಡ್ರಿ ಸರ್, ಲೇಟ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ.
Yes sir. Acha, sorry for the interruption. Today I am going to deal with you regarding types of Pandu. Before that, let us know something about what is meant by Pandu. Pandu is a rasa pradosha vikara, and according to some it is Santapadjanya Vadi also, because of the fact that in Santapadjanya vikara Dhatwagni Mandya Avastha is there. Hence, this is also called as Santapadjanya Vadi, and it is undoubtedly a Pitta Pradhana Tridoshaja Vikaram. Now, as far as definition is concerned, Ketaki Dhuli Sannibha is defined. Ketaki Dhuli Sannibha, that is, it resembles to that of pollen grains of Ketaki, which is light creamy in appearance. Hello, am I audible to you? Hello?
Yes sir. Yes sir.
Okay, you are listening to me. Right, fine. There is little interruption, please bear with me, okay? Acha. So this is about Pandu, and the knowledge of Pandu Roga is very important from clinical point of view. This I am going to deal at the end when I finish my Pandu Prakara and all. Okay. At the same time, you can go on changing looking into the PPT which I have already sent yesterday. Pandu is 5 types: Vataja, Pittaja, Kafaja, Sannipadaja, and Mritika Bhakshajanya Pandu. Now, as far as Vataja Pandu is concerned, Aharair Upacharaischa Vatalaihi Kupito Anilaha. There, the Acharyas have mentioned that the Nidana Sevana which vitiate Vata dosha, and they are responsible for the vitiation of Vata dosha. There are innumerable Vata Kara Nidana, Vata Kara Ahara, Vata Kara Viharas are there, which include Vyayama, Ruksha Hara Sevana, Ruksha Vihara Sevana, and all are there. So they vitiate Vata dosha, and thereby they are responsible for producing Vataja Pandu. Now, what are the features we commonly see here? Ruksha Runa Tvag Gatram, that is, the skin becomes dry, the skin becomes Aruna Varna. Angamarda is very commonly seen. Ruja, that is, body ache, is commonly seen. Todam is seen, Kampana is seen, and Parshva Shuroruja is very commonly seen. And Varchaha Shoshasya Asya Vairasya Shofanaha Balakshayan. That is, the fecal matters become very dry, and Mukha Vairasata is very commonly seen. Shotha is seen, and Balaksha is very commonly seen. These are few features which are very commonly seen in Vataja Pandu. And as far as Pittaja Pandu is concerned, those people who commit in consumption of regular Pittakara Ahara and Pittakara Vihara or by Swaprakopa, these are responsible for producing Pittaja Pandu. And in Pittaja Pandu, what commonly we see is Jwara is very commonly seen. The skin becomes a Pita or Harita. Thirst is very commonly seen. Murcha and Pipasa is very commonly seen. Pita Mutra, yellowish discoloration of Mala and Mutra is very commonly seen amongst Pittaja Pandu. Further, they are having lot of sweating. Svedanaha, Shita Kamascha, they are desire of eating cold substances. And there is Agnimandya Avastha is there. Katukasyata is also there. Udgara, Amlodgara, Vidaha, that is heartburn is very commonly seen. And change in the digestive pattern is very commonly seen. And Daurgandhya and Bhinna Varchas is very commonly seen. That is, Mala is Daurgandhyam and it is sometimes semi-liquid, sometimes it is broken. And most importantly, Daurbella is very commonly seen amongst these Pittaja Pandu patients. That is, Daurbella is very common amongst all the type of Pandu. But in Pittaja Pandu, apart from Pittaja Lakshanas, Pandutva also, Daurballa also is seen. And coming to the Kafaja Pandu, whenever Kafakara Nidanas are committed, that is Sneha, Guru, Madhura Rasa Pradhana Dravya, Diva Sapna, Avyayama, these are all Kafakara in nature, and they vitiate Kapha dosha, and this in turn becomes responsible for producing Kafaja Pandu Vikara. And what are the features seen here? Features seen are Anga Gaurava, Tandra, Chardi, that is sensation of vomiting. Objects are seen whitish in color. In Pittaja Pandu, yellowish objects are seen. And in Vataja Pandu, Aruna Varana, Shava Varana objects are very commonly seen by those people who are suffering from Vataja, Pittaja, Kafaja Pandu respectively. Praseka is very commonly seen. Romaharsha, Murcha, Brahma, Klama are very commonly seen in them. As because it is Kafaja Pandu, Prana Sroto Lakshanas are very commonly seen in them. That is Shwasa, Kasa, Alasya, Aruchi. Then a change in the voice, Swaragraham is mentioned in the classics. Then whitish, Mutra becomes whitish in color. Mala becomes whitish in color. And his desire of eating Katu, Ruksha and Ushna Padartha, he is having the desire of eating, consuming Ushna, Ruksha and Katu Rasa Pradhana Dravya. Shotha is very commonly seen in the lower limbs. And sweet taste is very commonly seen in the mouth. These are the Lakshanas which are commonly seen in Kafaja Pandu. And as far as Murtika Sannipataja Pandu is concerned, all the mixed features are seen, but acharyas have incorporated that into that of Mritika Bhakshana Janya Pandu because all those features are seen in Mritika Bhakshana Janya Pandu. Hence, Mritika Bhakshana Janya Pandu is replaced by Sushruta in place of Sannipataja Pandu. As far as Mritika Bhakshana Janya Pandu is concerned, people who are habituated of eating mud, in due course of time, if it is committed for a prolonged period, in due course of time, they are likely to produce a Pandu which is produced due to Mritika Bhakshana, that is eating of mud. In fact, eating of mud is very common in the society, and many times while evaluating the history from the patients, especially in pediatric group and women who are more prone to commit this, who are more fond of eating mud, the clinicians may fail in finding out the reasons about mud eating. And if the mud eating habits are not found out, with the Vyadhi Nirnaya with the Nidana is not identified properly, there cannot be successful management to these patients because ultimately Nidana Parivarjana carries the major importance here in the management of Mritika Bhakshana Janya Pandu, and as it is more complicated than the other three ones. Mritika Bhakshana, if Mritika Bhakshana is done, it can vitiate all the three dosha, that is Vata, Pitta and Kapha. If the mud is having a Kashaya taste, it vitiates Vata dosha. If the mud is having the taste of Lavana or Kshara, it is likely to vitiate Pitta dosha. And if it is Madhur Rasa Pradhana, it may vitiate Kapha dosha, and accordingly all the mixed features are seen, and these become directly responsible for producing vitiating the tridosha based on the taste of rasa of the mritika which is consumed by these patients. Now in Charaka Vidyutini commentary, three types of sampratis are mentioned here. Every BMS graduate should read it. Even Nidana Chikisashastra Malka, wherein Pandu has been explained elaborately, at least has been explained. You should take out time and read that, especially Vidyutini commentary and Nidana Chikisashastra Malka Pandu Prakarana, right? Now, three types of sampratis have been explained by Charaka in the context of Mritika Bhakshana Janya Pandu. One is based on the rasa of mud, that is, as I mentioned, Kashaya Marutam, Pitta, Mushara, Madhura, Kafam, and they can be responsible for producing Sannipataja type of Pandu, which is otherwise called as Mritika Bhakshana Janya Pandu. The another one is when the Amashaya becomes filled with the mud, and mud does not have any vital elements. It does not have any Poshakamsha. Hence, even though the stomach gets filled, but there is no nourishment out of it. So the Rakta Poshaka Rasadhatu, which has to be produced after the systematic digestion of Ahara Sevana, Sevita Ahara. So this is deprived here, and there will not be any Rasadhatu Utpatti. That is what we call as Rakta Poshaka Rasadhatu Anutpadana. This in due course of time, when the subsequent dhatus are not nourished, and in due course of time, an avastha will result, which is called as Mritika Bhakshanajanya Pandu Avastha. This is because of mud getting filled and there is no return out of it. The another one is mentioned in Vidyotini comment is that the srotas, rasava srotas, which has to be transported, rasava dhatu, rasa dhatu, which has to be transported after the systematic digestion, is not transported because there is clogging of the rasava srotas because of the mud. The all srotas are blocked because of the presence of mud over there. Hence, whatever little amount or meager amount of rasa produced, it is not transported and it is just wasted as it is. So hence, these three types of sampraptis have been mentioned in Vidyotini commentary. Detailed, the words srotansi nadhi has been mentioned. So there is a definite avrodha of srotasas which arise, which are responsible carrying, which we otherwise called rasayanis, which are carrying the rasa dhatu, are blocked. Hence, the dhatu poshaka rasa dhatu is not transported, and thereby, in due course of time, because of the regular deprivation of nourishing dhatu to the subsequent dhatus, the avastha will result, which is called as Pandu avastha. Types of sampraptis have been mentioned. Basically, number one is based on the which is consumed by these people. Kashaya Marutam, Mitta Mushra, Madhura Kafam. Second one is the amasha gets filled with that, and after digestion there is no rasa dhatu utpatti. Hence, for not producing rasa rakta poshaka or dhatu poshaka rasa dhatu, hence in due course of time, because of the deprivation of the nourishment, the dhatu kshaya is seen. And the third one is because of the clogging of the rasayanis, which are blocked because of the presence of mud over there. One more is as because mud eating, it has got a lot of contamination. These people are likely to produce krimi upasarga, and once the krimi upasarga is there, these krimis eat up all the food taken by these people, and there is much less left behind for the nourishment of dhatus. This also is one of the samprapti which is mentioned in Nidana Chikitsa Hastamalaka by Ranjit Rai Desaiji. So students should concentrate on these three terms of sampraptis, because in our country, because of the poor sanitation, open defecation, contamination water, contaminated food material and all, we are more prone for, and larger population is prone for producing krimi upasarga. And if krimi upasarga is not properly managed, it can be responsible for Pandu and Pandu related complications. This I'm going to tell you at the last. What are the complications? So please treat Mritika Bhakshanajanya Pandu properly, and when you are trying to record the Rogi Pariksha recording as far as Prashna Pariksha is concerned, in all the Pandu cases, whether it is a pediatric patient or whether it is a pregnant woman or whether it is a non-pregnant woman or it's any adult male or female, including elderlies, always put a question regarding mud eating habits. I have many patients with me. At least one Muslim patient is there who is almost 60 plus years. Even now she eats a lot of bricks. She goes outside, collects brick pieces or charcoal and sits comfortably at corner of the house and goes on eating that. And she is a regular patient of Pandu whose hemoglobin is reading around 4 gram percentage or 5 gram percentage throughout the year. So unless that these mud eating habits are not given up, you cannot expect a better prognosis of this condition, that is Pandu. So Mritika Bhakshanajanya Pandu identifying the habits, especially mud eating habits, is very important. So that Nidana Parivarjana with a, because Sankshapata Kriya Yoge Nidana Parivarjanam, because 50% of the treatment is Nidana Parivarjana. Hence, Nidana Parivarjana plays a major role in the context of treatment of Mritika Bhakshanajanya Pandu. I hope I am clear in my statements. Is it clear, students? Hello? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay.
Yes,
Shall
sir.
I go ahead? Now, what are the features seen now? What are the commonly seen features? If the audibility is not there, kindly you can interrupt me, okay? There's no problem. In Pandu, when especially in case of almost common features are seen, whereas in Mritika Bhakshanajanya Pandu, very specific features are seen. Indriyanam balam hatva. Already Sharira Bala also is Bala is there, but in the context of Pandu, Bheka Hatendriya has been told. Hatendriya. That is the because of the Pandu Avastha, because of Durbalata, Indriyas become Durbala and they fail in receiving their Vishayas. May it be Karmendriya, may it be Dhyanendriya, or may it be including Manas also. In severe cases, we have seen enormous abnormalities, major abnormalities related to Manas also. So, Indriyanam balam hatva, tejo viryojasi tatha. That is the complexion, which is a healthy complexion, which we commonly see on a healthy individual, is missing there. And the Ojakshaya and Virekshaya is very commonly seen, because ultimately these two factors are the outcome of normal dhatu pariposhan of these sapta dhatus. And along with that, the other features which are told in the context of the Trivida Pandu, that is Vata Pitta Jaga, that is Balavarna Nashanam. Then one important is Shotha is very commonly seen, that is Akshikuta Shotha is very commonly seen in them. Akshikuta Shotha or orbital Shotha is very commonly seen. Then Shotha, particularly in the pedal region, Shunapana Nabi, that is plus Nabi, Shotha in the Nabi Pradesha, and Shotha in the Mehana in the genital system. In a severe cases of Pandu, we commonly see the scrotal swellings, and in women, we are seeing the swelling of the labia majora. We are very commonly seeing in the severe anemic patients, which are secondary to the severe Pandu patients, which are secondary to Mritika Bhakshanajanya. And next important feature which is commonly seen in them is, in this Mritika Bhakshanajanya Pandu, is Krimi Costa. That is, Krimi Upasarga is very commonly seen in them. And in Krimi Upasarga, we commonly see features which we commonly see in Jaro Vivarnata Shulam, Pralahapa, Shosanam Brahma, Bhakta Dvesa, Atisarascha Sanjata, Krimi Lakshanam. Krimi Lakshanas also are very commonly seen in for Pandu, because of the fact that Krimi is responsible for Krimi Upasarga. Sorry, Mritika is responsible for Krimi Upasarga. So they are likely to have Krimi Costa, and Atisara is very commonly seen in them. They are voracious eaters, even though they appear anemic. Because of the Krimi Upasarga, lot of craving is there for the food, and patients, the mothers tell that my child keeps on eating and keeps on going to the toilet and all. This is ultimately indication that the child probably has got Krimi Upasarga. So this is very important from a clinical point of view when we are trying to take up the case of Mritika Bhakshanajanya Pandu. This is about Mritika Bhakshanajanya Pandu. Few important information which I wanted to pass on to you. Commonly, Krimi Upasarga, as I said, is very common amongst Indians, and in our country, anemia is very commonly seen. Pandu Avastha is very commonly seen. So whenever any patient walks into you and complains to you the lakshanas of Pandu, evaluation has to be done. First, physical examination has to be done. Acha, before that, let me complete the Sadhya Sadhyata of that, and then I will tell you the clinical application of this. In Sadhya Sadhyata, in Charaka, lot of narration is there. My suggestion for you people is try to remember or by heart the shlokas which are told in relation to Sadhya Sadhyata of the Vyadhis. Sukha Sadhya, Kashta Sadhya, Asadhya, and Upakrama. Because these are based on the number of Nidana, number of Purrupa, number of Rupa, number of involvement of the Roga Marga, and number of Marmasthana, involvement on Marmasthana and Srotasas. Based on this, Sadhya Sadhyata has to be mentioned. But even then, to be the safer side, for all the diseases, Sadhya Sadhyata can be written in a very fantastic manner. If you by heart the quotations, or if you try to memorize the yardstick which is mentioned, that which are the Sukha Sadhya Vyadhis, which are the Kashta Sadhya Vyadhis, because in Sukha Sadhya there is Eka Nidanam, Alpa Rupam, Alpa Purupam, Alpa Rupam Va, it is mentioned. That is which wherein the number of Nidanas are less, the number of Purupas are less, and one or two Rupas are there. This is Sukha Sadhyam. If the same is gets multiplied, it becomes Kashta Sadhyam. If the same becomes multiplied along with the involvement of the Roga Marga or multiple Srotasas, it becomes Kashta Sadhyam, Asadhyam. And the same accordingly Anupakrama. So likewise, you will have to memorize the features related to Sadhya Sadhyata Vyadhis, and whenever need be, you can apply, and just common sense is required in writing up Sadhya Sadhyata of the Vyadhis. I hope I'm very clear in this. In as far as in generally, if Pandu is not treated at the initial stages, it slips into severe avastha. That is, it becomes more severe, and lot of involvement with the deeper dhatus will be there. Lot of dhatu kshaya avastha will be there, and the patient becomes severely weak, and generalized swellings are seen, and patient's perception is not there, mental perception is not there, physical inactivity is lot of is there. He is not able to perform even simplest of the physical acts. Such chronic or prolonged Pandu illness is Asadhya Vyadhi. Still lot of narrations are there. There is a big quotation is there. You can refer them and try to add to your own knowledge. Simple tips to be given to here is, if it is prolonged one, if it is chronic one, and involvement of Tridosha, more dhatus, involvement of hello, Srotasas are there, Roga Marga multiple Roga Marga involvement is there, and these are termed as Asadhya, or they should not be treated as it is mentioned in the context of Charaka. So this is about Sadhya Sadhyata. So today we have tried to understand under the classical references of Vataja Pandu, the Pandu definition, Vataja Pandu, Pittaja Pandu, Kafaja Pandu, Sannipataja or Vritika Bhakshanaja Pandu, and consequently their Sadhya Saddhata. And I would like to highlight here the practical applicability which is need of the hour for Rog Nidana students. Whenever a patient is brought to us, either the mother tells or the patient himself whether I am feeling lot of generalized weakness, I'm do not have that utsaha to energy to perform the activities, I'm feeling a lot of lethargicity, I'm feeling a lot of exhaustion on simple exertion, and especially arona ayasa is very commonly seen in Pandu. Arona, that is either walking on a plane or especially walking on stairs or climbing the stairs, a person starts feeling exhausted, feels fatigued, easy fatigability, and these features are very important, which are likely to guide us to make the diagnosis of a Pandu. When you are examining these patients, first generally what we do when we take up the patient on the table, look to his pulse. Perception of pulse one has to practice at the bedside, which I have been telling number of times at the in the clinic, in the class also I have told you to go to wards and learn how to palpate the arteries. It seems very easier that okay, after all we have to hold the wrist joint and keep our fingers and all. At times it becomes very difficult for you, because you have to appreciate in all the cases of Pandu Avastha, pulse is very low. Pulse is low. So the appreciation is very important. This, when we take up practicals, we will demonstrate you what is meant by low volume pulse. And examine the conjunctiva. Normally, the color of the conjunctiva should be pink in nature, which is healthy sign. And in case of Pandu Avastha, it is pale. That is Pandutva. The dictionary of Pandu is pale. The dictionary meaning of Pandu is pale or anemic. So the conjunctiva becomes pale. When you look at the tongue, remember proper light ventilation has to be there for appreciating these areas. Look at the conjunctiva, look at the tongue, right? These are found to be pale in nature. Look at the nails. Pandutva is very clearly seen. Compare your nail with that of the patient. Your nail could be pink unless you are not put any paint on that. That's why the doctors to be should never put a finger polish, because you will not be in a position to compare from abnormal to that of a normal one. You are going to be doctors, please cultivate good habits. Okay, so examine the tongue. Now you have examined this area. Look at the face. Face may not be as energetic. It will not be energetic as it should be. You will not have that healthy complexion. You will not have that healthy sign over the face. So face is deprived of that energy, prabha, varna, chaya. These are all missing over there. Look to the other skin also. You are likely to feel the pale nature of that. So after having done this external examination, examining the nails, examining the conjunctiva, examining the tongue and the skin, what is left for us is pulse in sparsha pariksha. Sparsha you have to do, and you have to use your stethoscope and try to do the auscultation. Remember, in all the cases of Pandu, the abnormal sounds are very commonly heard. In the context of Pandu, Rispandana has been Samanya Pandu. I hope my colleague must have already told you regarding this, the Samanya Lakshana of Pandu. Hruspandana has been told, Hrutghattana has been told, right? Hruspandana is palpitation. Why one should get palpitation? Because whenever there is reduced volume of blood is there, whenever either mental excitement or physical exertion is done, there is demand of oxygen. If you are walking on a plane, the demand is less. If you are climbing the stairs, the demand is more. If you are carrying any load, demand is more. If you are involved in any of the sports, the demand is more. and accordingly the heart will start functioning and the supply of oxygen is done. Who is supplying that? RBCs are supplying through circulation. All right. So this is as because in Pandu Avastha, the Rakta Pramana is less because Alpa Rakta Avastha is there. That is hemoglobin percentage is there less, and whenever the person starts committing any physical act, they start feeling exerted. That is called as Arohana Ayasam, which is very classical sign in almost all the varieties of Pandu or anemia. So try to auscult the heart. In normal individuals, you should not have anything other than two loved up sounds, two heart sounds, unless a person has got some pathology of the cardia. Otherwise, in almost all the individuals, we should not have any abnormal sound emerging in between these two sounds, that is an systolic sound and the diastolic sound. Whereas what happens here is these we are likely to hear an abnormal sound, which is ultimate indication of reduced blood into the reduced supply into the heart chamber, that is hemic murmur, very classical of its kind. If time permits, I shall demonstrate that. We have a nice audio is there in the college. We can show you what exactly, how does these murmurs appear, especially hemic murmur to be identified in a given case of Pandu. That can be done. So after having done this, after having done all this physical examination, you can ask the patient regarding his perception. You can just judge how he is responding to your queries and all. In severe cases, patient may not be able to respond even to the verbal queries also. They are not perceiving you properly, and the response also is delayed response is there. So that is why you need to be very careful when you are trying to record a case related to especially when it is a Pandu case. So along with this, you can ask the patient to have an investigation done, because these two go hand in hand. The idea of getting the hemoglobin percentage done is not to confirm the diagnosis. Already you have confirmed the diagnosis. You want to further treatment modalities, and you need to have an objective parameter. So hence hemoglobin has to be done. One thing I forgot to mention: whenever the Rakta Alpata is seen in the varieties of Pandu patients, it can affect the functioning abilities of the heart, functioning abilities of the brain, functioning abilities of the kidneys, so on and so forth. For example, if the blood supply is not properly supplied to the through the coronary artery to the myocardium, so coronary insufficiency related complications may be seen, including cardiac arrest also. I have got two cases which I think I had mentioned in the class, which with a 4-gram percentage, the lady died because of a cardiac arrest owing to coronary insufficiency. As far as features related to cerebrum is concerned, when the brain does not receive normal amount of oxygen, initially there is giddiness, there is fainting, there is altered consciousness or sensorium is there, and in due course of time this may differ, severity may differ. The patient may become semi-conscious or unconscious, like that, commonly because of improper supply of the oxygen, because brain cell survives on oxygen and glucose. Already it is known to you. So whenever in anemic cases, if the persons are standing for even a couple of minutes, they may get hypovolemia, cerebral ischemia, and sudden fainting and fall to the ground. So these are very commonly seen features. Every year we see students falling down at the bedside when you are conducting bedside clinics. So this even when the renal system does not receive normal circulation, there may be renal involvement also. When the retina doesn't receive proper supply for its nourishment through the retinal artery, darkness before the eyes, visual disturbances may be seen. So there are plenty of features problems which can be faced by these people, whoever have got, and it all depends upon the severity of the situation. So this is regarding how do we look into this at the bedside regarding. So today we have learned about the Pandu. It's a classical references Vataja, Pittaja, Kafaja and Mrtika Bhakshanaja. Important is, I would insist upon you people to refer Vidyotini commentary Pandu Prakarana, Mrtika Bhakshanaja Pandu, and Nidana Chikitsa Hastra Malaka, written by Ranjita Desai. We have got n number of copies are there in our library. I would advise you to purchase these books so that it becomes an asset for you. Books are your wealth. These are going to help you, because tomorrow you will be becoming consulting Ayurvedic practitioners. These are going to help you a lot. So with this, I hope I have somehow conveyed you the message regarding. I regret for the initial hiccups, initial disturbance in the audibility. I hope I have I conveyed you the message? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Shall I close now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much for the
Thank you,
patient
sir.
hearing. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.